So in my previous video, I was addressing many topics, and I'm going to try to cover some of them which I couldn't close it completely in that previous topic, a previous video. First is related to spiritual warfare. If any of you are experiencing spiritual warfare, and for everyone, it can be of a different kind. What thing that helped me was when I was in the midst of it, I didn't realize I was in spiritual warfare. I thought I was getting led by my twin flame or someone in my journey. So, as a result, when I was getting led by someone and it was not the right guide, and that happened because I was getting too much into the twin flame journey related darker aspects which can lead us to become manifesting some darker experiences. As a result, whatever warfare started happening was based on that darkness within me, and also maybe within the person who I thought was my twin flame, who may or may not have been my twin flame at that point. Because one thing with telepathy is sometimes you don't understand whose thoughts you might be picking up. As a result, you could also be picking up all kinds of wrong thoughts. And as a result, because I didn't have the initial discernment that I'm picking up some wrong thoughts, the warfare continued on, and even now it is continuing in some aspects. Because if anyone is tracking my thoughts, be it a guide, be it an angel, be it someone who is filled with darkness, again based on their perception or the time point at which they're picking up these thoughts, some wrong or right things can manifest. So as a result, when my family was sitting with me and saying that I needed some help with seeing a mental health specialist, at that time I was not having a mental health problem. And even when I was actually having some mental health issues, at the time I needed not a therapist but someone who understands spiritual warfare. As a result, I couldn't go to a general therapist, I couldn't go to a regular doctor as well, because they both wouldn't have solved the problem at the now moment of time. So who could solve the problem? One was, there were some people who tried to send me some spiritual help because they were in some kind of spirituality related track. Now again, because I have some self-awareness, because I have some discernment, I understood that even these people couldn't help me in my problem, because their level of understanding and depth of understanding of a problem of life is not as deep or whole-rounded as mine. So they were only looking at spirituality too in a particular way, in a way like a two-dimensional puzzle piece way, than a three-dimensional or higher dimensional way. As a result, I couldn't even take that help, because intuitively I knew that this is not the right help. So then what was the right help? First, the right help was I had to take some agency myself, because as I said in the previous video, the one who helps themselves, that person only God can help. So where can I help myself, or where can you help yourself when spiritual warfare is happening, is by working in the inner darkness, working in your shadow related darkness related thoughts, stopping the darkness related thoughts or ideas or whatever is manifesting in your life, trying to work on the aspects that which you have the control on. But after you have controlled or cleaned or worked on the chakras or done the inner work, even then if some warfare related things are manifesting in your life, or you think it is a spiritual warfare happening with you, then the next level is to surrender to the process and surrender to God. Because even in that darkness you may have a lesson to learn. That's why whenever any kind of darkness happens to us, any kind of dark experience, sad experience, grief related experience, heartache related experience, anger related experience, pain related experience where someone is not able to take care of us, experience where people are not able to understand us when we are trying to communicate something, whatever darkness arises in your life, you have three ways to go. One way is you value in the darkness and start like feeling like a victim and feel sad and grief stricken and continue on that journey of that darkness. Or you can start clearing that which is your karma about it, start working on your karma. And karma clearing doesn't just mean you clear your energy, by actions also you have to slowly start clearing it. Some of the karma is not something you have to clear in this life. Maybe some of the karma you have to clear as a different body in a different life, and you might have already cleared it, you just don't know. And that knowledge, how can that knowledge come? When you connect deeply with the divine. Because that which you are supposed to clear or work through in this lifetime is your share of the burden. That which you are supposed to work through in a different lifetime is up to God to decide whether there is a different lifetime you have to work through something. Then there's also your knowledge that there might be certain things you can't work through right now at this point of time, because many things might be happening to you. So, which again only God has a higher perspective of which thing you need to work on currently, which thing you need to postpone until later date. So because of which, even though there were many paths which were opening up to me as I was doing some inner work, I had to stop some of those paths from opening. I had to stop from experiencing those paths. Like if I was having a negative experience of not being taken care appropriately when I was at my sickest level, or at a level where I'm asking people I need help, but they are not able to understand that I'm asking them for help. That also happened. There were some people who didn't understand that I'm asking for help. Some people didn't understand that before I went into this phase of spiritual warfare or darkness, there was a very light phase also that happened in my life. In that lightness phase, I was in the happiest phase of my life. I was experiencing also very happy things also happening in my life. At that time also, I wanted to share my life with certain people. And when I was wanting to share my life, because I had already woken up to this belief system or that understanding that all of us in earth have to live with someone, do something with someone, coexist with someone, be it in a family relationship, be it in a partnership, be it in a work collaboration. And in those aspects, anyone who I invited at that point of time in my life, when nothing was going wrong, anyone I asked, come and live with me for a few days or come and live with me for a month, whatever they wanted to do, because some of them were retired people, some of them were not retired, but were people who want to travel, want to experience a different culture, are always looking towards traveling. So all these people, or some of them, had certain things in their life which I could see if in the future life certain things manifest, they're not living in a very healthy place and poor health will manifest for them. So whatever the reason was for me to invite someone to come and share my life with, if they experienced me at a particular point of time and saw me only in a limited perspective, they didn't understand why I was inviting them at that point of time. And they could have cleared that misunderstanding or misperception about me by asking me further questions. Why am I inviting them? What is it that I'm seeing that the need for this invitation? They didn't ask me. They could have asked me, they could have asked God. They didn't do that either. As a result, their door of learning with me that could have opened when something good was happening in my life at that point of time couldn't open. They would have benefited in a long, lesser arduous life journey way if they had come to stay at that point of time with me. But there was a secondary thing that was unfolding when they refused. While if they hadn't refused and if they had come and visited me, they would have learned something mutually beneficial. I would have learned something mutually beneficial from them. It would have been a mutual thing, despite me not earning at that time, despite me not having a higher social status in certain ways than them. They would have learned something. They didn't want to have that learning lesson. which again in their future is going to be a challenge for them, because every single degree of learning that you don't take from someone, you have to keep meeting someone else again and again to learn that lesson. So for me, what was that lesson though? If I'm asking 5 people, none of them are understanding me or misunderstanding me or taking it in the wrong way, what that invitation means, there is a lesson for me as well, that these are also not the right people. They are not yet awakened to this mutually collaborative thing, cohesive thing that is supposed to occur when someone may have more money than you, someone may have more job experience than you, someone may have some more work experience than you, someone may be more aged and elderly than you, someone may be very different than you in certain social circumstances. But every time we reject someone who is very different from us and do not understand deeply why God is sending an invitation for us to interact with someone who is very divergent from us or partly divergent from us, it depends, right? So there's something common also between us that would have helped us, and there's something uncommon between us that would have helped us. Both helps. When something common is there, it helps you in creating and building better relationships, and the thing that is uncommon helps you in expanding your horizon, expanding your vision, expanding what you have come to learn or experience on this earth. So I realized that with them, those experiences can't unfold. But in the meantime, my health was deteriorating. So there was a secondary purpose for God for me to invite these people. If they had come, I would have understood, or they would have understood certain things and trajectories about healthcare that would benefit them in their future life. And my health also wouldn't have deteriorated to that rapid level if I had other social circumstances. So this is the lesson I learned, that why was God asking me to invite people over was because God wanted to slow down the process of this health decline, give the time to do something else, learn something else, which didn't happen. But does it mean I didn't get that experience? No. When I did other things, I was also simultaneously developing practices, and I had been developing these practices for 20 years of my life as an adult, where I was slowly figuring out what are the things that bring me back to alignment when no one is there to take care of me. What are the things that are must-haves for survival and thriving, without which I can't live? What are the things I have to reject if I have to open up the doors for something different related to health to manifest than what is manifesting currently in my life? So all these learnings started coming, which is also part of the spiritual learning of someone who's ascending, someone who has come on earth to do something, someone who's searching for their soul purpose, someone who's searching for love. Every time you're experiencing some heartbreak in love, there is an experience unfolding for you. Okay? Any heartbreak, any rejection, if not in love, if you're facing rejection at work, again there is some life lesson to learn while you're facing rejection at work. Because while in US I didn't face the rejection so profoundly as I faced rejection at work in India, it doesn't mean that the work I'm supposed to do related to health or healthcare was invalid just simply because I don't have that many years of experience in certain fields. I have experience in different fields, from physical, mental, emotional to spiritual health to even financial health related things. I have certain experiences, I have certain vision about where these things need to go, and because of that reason only, I was inviting people in my life, or I was going and visiting people. I was guided then next to go and visit other places. So as I was visiting different places in India, what started happening, I started seeing, I visited different cities and went alone as a stranger. I went and stayed with some of my family thinking, if I am dying right now, why not just go and have a few days of interaction, social interaction with them before I die? So spiritually that would have been beneficial for me. If not spiritually and emotionally, it would have been beneficial for me to just have gone and visited family and said saying the final goodbyes to them, if that was the time point when within a few years or months I am supposed to die. That was one reason for visiting. But simultaneously, the other reason that was unfolding was because I'm a healthcare person, all the health related, I'm keeping on doing this because I'm getting allergies, and I have had allergies to the water pollution in this area. So whatever things I absorbed from the water today, it doesn't mean that when I'm taking a shower, when today meaning 12 hours back I took a shower, and 12 hours back when I had taken a shower, whatever, approximately 12 hours, don't be precise with this, but when I had taken a shower, whatever water my body absorbed from the shower, which was polluted water, and if I have any other chemicals also inside my body that is polluted, they both can interact to cause a allergic reaction in my body. Some of the allergic responses came immediately after that shower, while some of the responses are manifesting now, from me having irritated eyes, irritated skin, because the allergic responses don't sometimes happen immediately. First the body tries to fight it, but when the body has not able to fight it adequately, it starts giving you rashes and skin irritation and things like that. So from the water pollution that was happening to me, which led me to ask and this water pollution problem didn't just manifest in my own place where I was living in Navi Mumbai, or in my father's place when I lived with my father, or when I was traveling to my cousins' homes, or when I was traveling and visiting strange cities where I may have visited once or twice, or I may never have visited those places, new places. Wherever I was going, whether it was a new place, whether it was an old place I was revisiting again, whether it was a place that I had revisited many times in the past as a child and now I was revisiting, or it was completely new place, because my journey was about healthcare, everything related to healthcare was also happening there. Because my main problem has been water pollution for a while, many water pollution related problems showed up. That was, I was intuitively able to know, because as a guest of any place, even if you are a guest where you are in my own home, I am also kind of like a guest. Meaning, I don't stay in my own home always. I go and travel. I come and stay at my dad's home. So I am a guest everywhere currently on earth. I have never been a fixed tree-like person in any of the homes that I have lived in. Firstly, because of the job that my father had. Next, because of the job I had. And now, because of my own health problems, I've never been really a fixture in any one particular city for, or any one particular home for a long time. But because I've not been very fixed in any home life or any home for a long duration, what has happened with me, the longest I was in Salt Lake City. But even in Salt Lake City, I lived in different homes. So again, in the same city itself, I experienced multiple home and society related health issues, because I was not fixed at one place. My sensitivity and perception of what is wrong in that place immediately shows up for me. And that is how any guest can become a blessing for you. If a guest had shown up, certain ways in which they were doing life would have shown up for me, which would have helped me and them eventually in understanding health better, which can arise via conflicts also, can arise via good interactions also. But where do you think people get the most memory when something is arising in their life? When you are panicked, when you are stressed, when you are diseased, that is when you're suffering. In those sufferings and in that darkness, sometimes the best possible solution arises for you. Because that time nothing works except your own intuition or guidance from God when your own intuition is blocked. That is the only thing that will work. Or if you still continue doing logically that you have been taught to do, what will happen is logically what you have been taught to do will sometimes start failing until you intuitively know what I logically know, what is good about it, what is bad about it. For example, when my health was deteriorating, initially I thought it was just a simple stomach flu, because for me, or skin irritation and allergies. These are the two simplest symptoms, starting with the initial stage of water pollution problem in India, and food related and water related problems in India caused me to have either stomach flu like symptoms, so like having milder diarrheas, or skin irritations. But later on, when I realized it is food pollution or water pollution related problems, and and more symptoms had shown up, because initially when you have just mild exposure to pollution, you will be okay if your body is healthy. But if many pollutants have started entering your system and they are not getting cleared appropriately by your body, you're not getting the right nutrition also to build a better immunity, then all these things, or your body has stopped absorbing the right nutrients because of the kind of food you're eating. There are multiple factors, or if pollutants are there in your stomach which are impacting absorption of the right nutrients, all these areas can cause you to start manifesting a disease. And that disease doesn't develop the day I go to a doctor and a doctor diagnoses it. The disease is developing in my body for many years. The disease related to organ damage, organ failure, water pollution's effect in my health has been developing for many years. And the end result and end outcome of that disease is my having some organ damage, my having some organ failure, if I don't get treated for that organ damage in the right way, and or my dying, or my developing cancer, because I was in the pre-cancer stages. I will not say I am, because slowly I did some energy healing related or other guidelines were sent my way, which helped me heal from some of the pre-cancer that was developing here. But I still have a long journey to go. My blood, my cardiac system, my other organs that are malfunctioning or showing signals actually of distress, those organs that are showing me this skin irritation and allergy from water, means what? I need clean pure water. Means what? I need to go to a place where clean pure water is available. If it is not available in my home, I have to find the place where it is available, or I have to learn some techniques like energy healing to ensure that the water stays clean always. These are the levels at which we have to work. Any human being who wants to work now and live a quality of health life, they have to work in these kind of levels. Because if you have realized there is water pollution causing health harm, and you say you are the governor of a city, you have the power to change the city's policies to stop water pollution. If you have a social group who has realized that the water in our city is causing sickness to many in our family, that whole social group has to collectively do something. Anywhere, everywhere, what are you awakening to? You have to first realize what are you awakening to, why are you awakening to it. As part of ascension symptoms, many people can find a list of ascension symptoms. In some of my past videos also I've mentioned some of these ascension symptoms. But what is an ascension symptom? At the spiritual level, if you have something spiritually and emotionally to clear from your body, some of those ascension symptoms might be because of the spirituality related or energy that you had held in your body related to stress or something in the past, because stress can also cause inflammation. So if you have a verbally abusive parent, or a sexually abusive partner, and or verbally sexually abuse-filled life, you will have inflammation, autoimmune diseases, many other sexual health or emotional health or physical health related and abuse related symptoms manifest. So if you are having abuse related things, you have to reduce the abuse in your life. Can I just simply do energy healing and the abuse will end in my life? No. Can I do spiritual healing and the spiritual healing in my body will stop someone else from abusing me? Yes or no? It depends. Because if that person's karma is to continue together with you in life, then you're doing spiritual healing, forgiveness exercises, trying to close the karma, whatever spiritually you've been taught that you have to do will help you in ending that relationship or changing and transforming the person who is abusing you. But if your karma is to stop and break away from that person will not change, because your journey is to break away from that person. They might change temporarily, give you a temporary hope that for a few days or a few hours they are changing, but at the deeper core level they're not supposed to change, because their trajectory of life is different. Your trajectory of life has started to be different now. If you have learned already all the things you have to learn from that abuse, all the things you have to learn from any kind of stress causing factor in your life, slowly you will be taken to a path where those things don't need to manifest in your life anymore, right? So that's why when you are visiting someone and you found something was wrong in their homes, and being their family or being the stranger who is educated about certain things that need changing in the world, if you have dispensed that information to someone, they are not ready to take that information as the appropriate response from you, because they didn't ask you for help. But what if they had asked someone for help, that they are incurring lakhs of rupees or thousands of dollars of costs in taking care of their mother's health, father's health, child's health, or they are falling sick regularly, and they are praying to God, God, make my family happy, make my family healthy. Can you make your family happy and healthy if there are environmental factors that you have to change, which God can't change for everyone? For those problems which are manifested in your life as a result of your actions and choices, God can only guide you towards changing it, guide you towards, send you guidances via humans who do understand what is the problem zone. God will send you those humans to tell you, if you have been abused, leave this abusive relationship, so that you don't get into the whole immerse into the toxicity of that abuse. After you have left a toxic abusive relationship, though, you can't simply decide that, oh, that person was the only person who was at fault while that abuse was happening. You also have to realize your part in that abuse. What role did you play? If you act like a victim, pretend to be a victim always, or are stuck in being a victim, are you going to keep attracting abusive partners, or are you going to attract good partners who will understand you? So what do you have to discern then? Once you've left an abusive partner, why was this partner abusive to me? If that partner was verbally abusive and is not respecting your knowledge or wisdom or life path choices, what is the lesson I have to learn? That I can't be with people who are not on the same life path journey as me. If my life path journey is about spirituality, and I have some partner who doesn't respect spirituality at all, or doesn't even allow me the space to explore spirituality, will that life partner or family be the right family or life partner to coexist with? That's why when someone is not saying yes to something you're asking them to do, there is also, or when you go and ask them change these things and they're not ready for that change, you have to understand and let go there. That is where the principle of let go happens. You have to let go of the outcome of when they will change, why they should change, how they should change. If you are a messenger of some change that you have to bring to their life, you've done your job. You have given them the choices that are possible for them to do as a messenger to bring change. Because they were asking God that I need help in some subtle ways or some very open ways, by going and praying somewhere in a temple, going and calling Christ to help them. They're doing that. But if they are not yet ready for that change will not manifest. It will take time for the change to manifest in their life. So I have been taught or guided so far to keep on letting go of many people. Why? Because if I keep holding on to these people who are not understanding what needs to change, what am I preventing? I'm preventing from myself from creating these videos, which is what happened also briefly for a few years. I was stuck so much in helping those who I could see they need help, and I had the answer to the help they needed, but they are not open to the new way of living or new step by step changes, because many changes have to be done by them. It's not just one change, and they're not even open to the one change. Then do you think they can go and do the 10 changes that are needed? No. So I can't go there. I have to go where I have understood where 10 changes are needed, or how out of those 10 changes, some of those changes I know really well to do, and some I don't know that well to do. I have to learn from someone. So I have to either go to those people who will teach me how to work on other changes, or I have to go to those people who are open to teaching me and also learning from me. These are the only places where I will thrive now. And also because the personal healthcare problem is I am experiencing, I can't bring that sudden change in my life and one fine day go and do something massive and great. I have to build it slowly only. So as a result, everything that is shaping up in my life is shaping up slowly, step by step. Whatever I am suggesting in any of these videos, that this is what is needed, or these are the ways where earth pollution is happening and that's why we need to change it, things like that, everything I have experienced for 40 years. And out of those 40 years of work and life experiences, I'm saying something which has been existing on earth for not just 40 years. It has been existing on earth for longer than 40 years, some of those things. Those things that are long term, more than 40 years long things, will take more than 40 years to change. Those things that are immediate 5-10 year new things that can be shifted immediately. So we have to take these step by step guidances. There are also some other things that I had mentioned in my other video, like say simple water related problem that I talked about. When I am sick, or when someone in your family is sick, an elderly, be it a child, be it a woman, the problem with elderly children and women is that if the child doesn't have the right caretaking mother, father, or anyone in their life, the child is completely helpless. That's why if the child's parents are not able to do, or grandparents or whoever is caretaking the child is not doing the right appropriate care, sometimes society has to get involved. Sometimes for the child's right care, more people have to be involved. Same way with an elderly. If the elderly person's right support system is not there, sometimes more people have to get involved. Because both children and elderly sometimes have the problem of not expressing their life or health problems. They are not at the phase of life where they can express their life problems. Elderly can do it because they are too stuck, or sometimes they themselves have never analyzed. Those elderly also won't be able to express it. This is also true of middle-aged men and women also. That's why when all these ascension related work is talking and asking people to do meditation or exercises or clearing of their chakras, is because people have to start opening their heart and throat and perception chakras. If you open your heart chakra, throat chakra and perception chakra, then only you will be able to perceive when you are in trouble, when someone else is in trouble, and be their right caregiver or caretaker. Otherwise, if a child is crying, so many times I am seeing so many people, and here I can't blame these people. They are the less educated people than me. I have had problems with both less educated people and more educated people than me not understanding basic health and healthcare. Why? partly because the ones who are more educated, they've programmed themselves into a particular way of healthcare. So for them, perception change is the problem, that something needs to shift, that they are not able to understand. And same perception problem is also there with those who are less educated, but in a different way. For them, it is that if a doctor doesn't tell them, if a government doesn't do something, they are not able to do the self-care taking, because they don't even understand the science sometimes behind what needs to change. But those who do understand the science of what needs to change, why it needs to change, if even they don't take the steps to change it, can we get a cleaner earth? Or are we going to continue polluting the earth, polluting our health, and continue having more and more diseases in our life? So the people who do understand what needs to change, if they don't bring the change, if they are sitting amused seeing someone else's suffering, or they're amused that this person knows less than me, that's why what they are saying is bullshit, then you have not awakened only. You are only partly awakened to something, you're not completely awakened. Because in ascension, God has given the life plan collectively to our collective consciousness, where to change something in a slow manner. So every person we are interacting with is actually telling us where to change, what to change, right? And every person who's telling us, showing us, teaching us, some are teaching directly, some are telling directly, some are showing directly, some are also doing it indirectly. It's up to you whether you want to learn it from the indirect method, from the direct method. But one direct method that has already come to show us that earth pollution exists is via cancer, organ damage, and COVID. These three diseases and some more other diseases are manifestations of earth pollution related activities. There are some other diseases which are as a result of spiritual or emotional health related barriers in us. So if we fix some spiritual emotional health barriers, then certain diseases will go away. If we fix on the physical health impacting barriers created by environmental pollution, or different kinds of pollution and abuse in our lives, then our physical health will improve. So these are the things people have to work on as part of the ascension process. As a result, if in ascension, I keep saying as a result, I don't know why, because I guess result needs to come up now next in life. If you have learned already that you are undergoing ascension symptoms, if you have learned already some energy healing techniques to clear away the ascension symptoms, and if your mind and heart is open, many of your chakras are open and cleaned, even then you're falling sick, it means that, or you're continuously getting those ascension symptoms, it's an awakening call from the body and the universe that something in your environment is not supporting your health. And while traveling around, what I realized was, or also having lived in two countries, what I have realized is, even in US I had air pollution, water pollution related health problems. It's just that I was younger, I didn't face a massive impact of it at that time, but its underlying inherent impact was unfolding in my body even after I have left US, because some of those pollutants were still stuck in my body. Some of those pollution causing factors that cause pollution in US are the same chemicals that are causing pollution in India as well. Some chemicals are same, some chemicals are different. Some environmental factors are similar, some environmental factors are different. So every country has some similar environmental factor, some different environmental factor, and those similar environmental factors are the reason why COVID came in such a massive number. Those are the same similar factors which causes an increase in some diseases like diabetes or hypertension in the population. And it's only researchers like me who have done past research, who have tracked the trajectory of a disease, who understand deeply why a disease is unfolding. If people like me didn't do the research, doctors first of all won't have the information of why a disease unfolded. But if you start limiting the people who know and understand deeply why some disease is unfolding, or just because it contradicts your view about that disease, again you've created a barrier where the barrier shouldn't exist. You have the educational knowledge to delve deeper if someone is giving you a contradictory paradigm to examine, because in that contradiction only lies the solution. How for COVID and other diseases it is, the contradiction has the solution, I will talk about later. But let's talk about some what we can do when we are seeing someone in our personal life falling sick, or how we can help someone if we have observed they are falling sick, or we have observed that we are falling sick anytime we are interacting with them. What do you have to do? If you are independent sort and you're falling sick every time you go and visit some place, where be it your parents' place, be it your cousin's place, be it your partner's home, like when you're dating or something and you're visiting them and you're falling sick, or you repeatedly going in conflict zones with them, those are the times to realize, is it just simply an emotional problem? Is it some physical factors also influencing our health? Is it something we have to work on together, or is it something we have to work on separately? This is why twin flame separation also happens. This is why many modern marriages are breaking. This is why sometimes people are also losing their jobs, because job loss is not simply about finances anymore. God, the one who is looking at everything that is unfolding on earth currently and knows what is the life plan of every human being on earth, also knows there is a reason why I am not employed right now. Because if I was employed, what would I be busy? I would be same way busy like when I was a pharmacist, I would be busy like my pharmacist friends. If I had also done MBA in healthcare administration, if I was busy in managing some, and I was a very operations oriented person, if I had become busy in doing some operations related work or healthcare related work, or again become a pharmacist by studying some more related to pharmacy degrees, what would have happened? I would have been again in a constant busy work cycle where I wouldn't have had the rest, and I would either have died from this organ damage and cancer and other things, because I wouldn't have been mindful enough to understand when my body is going in critical stages. I would be so busy and engrossed in work, I wouldn't be mindful of my own health. But because I was not working, because I was doing awareness exercises, because I was doing a meditation, because I was learning about what is going to unfold next in the journey of ascension for humans, and some came via videos and some have come via intuitive guidances from God, and some have come via my own knowledge of these 40 years of my life on earth. So as it is, because of that, what has happened is that I was again going to say as a result. So because of whatever has unfolded in my life, I needed that period of rest to not work, to observe myself, to observe my family, to observe the health of many people that COVID brought in their life, that cancer is bringing in their life, that organ damage, organ failure is causing in their lives, and the organ damage, organ failures causes were coming up to me. What is the cause of an organ damage, organ failure manifesting for someone like it is manifesting for me? What is the cause of all these skin irritation, inflammation, autoimmune response like symptoms that are manifesting in my health that others are not able to perceive just because I look very healthy in some ways? But actually the symptoms and signs of the disease are present even in this video of where certain things are going wrong in my health. But if you aren't a good doctor, you will not realize it. Or even if a good doctor is present, say if they are a chiropractor or they are a doctor of a different discipline than doctor of medicine, sometimes their education is getting devalued when their education also has to start playing a role in healthcare now, because it's time for healthcare of multiple disciplines to work cohesively together to work towards building a better quality of life for a patient. When I'm experiencing heart problems that I experienced from physical toxins, chemical toxins, biological toxins, and toxins in air, water, food, just going to a doctor didn't help. That's why the doctor, first of all, didn't understand what was going wrong, but part of it was my life journey experience to understand from my education what was going wrong. That's why medicine didn't help me more than allopathic medicine. Actually, they helped me less. Allopathic medicine was actually interfering with my health problems, because any medicine that the doctor gave, like they gave me a cardiac medicine because my cholesterol was only 1 point high, and for technically the guideline for 1 point high cholesterol levels is that you have to follow diet restrictions, which is what I again reverted back to, doing the dietary restrictions. But why was my cholesterol slightly elevated is because of my liver. My liver is not functioning, my liver enzymes were high, and I had to focus on liver health than cardiac health if I don't want that cholesterol to be also high. There is a correlation, that signal transduction pathway that works for it. If you want to learn about it, do your own research, but there is a correlation of liver function and heart function. But this knowledge I have, basic knowledge, the deep knowledge I have forgotten, but this is the basic principle knowledge that I remember right now, because of which and the medicine that he gave me was impacting my liver. As soon as I consumed it, it caused me intense stomach pain and pain in the area where my liver is, because of which I stopped taking that medicine. I again started doing some extra care, started taking some extra care of ensuring that my liver health and cardiac health doesn't get damaged as a result of the cholesterol levels and my liver enzymes, so that my liver enzymes don't get escalated. I tried, but I don't have control of every food that I buy, because for that I have to go to a place where the farmer is truly doing organic farming and getting food from those farmers. Then only complete stopping of my liver damage will happen. Otherwise it will continue. I can take medicine for it, but right now my body is at a critical stage where some medicines are causing their individual specific side effects, because multiple things were going wrong in my body. So and even energy healing also can't help completely. It can help partially in relieving some of the problem areas, but right now my main problem is food and nutrition and clean water, air, surroundings. If none of those are present in my life, my next future direction is declining health. Even if I take medicine, it will go towards a declining trajectory of health because of multiple organs not working. And in India, if I continue living in India, Indian doctors don't even realize the repercussions of, except for maybe like the hospital doctors, some of the doctors and the hospital doctors who see emergency patients, like critical patients, some of those critical patients seeing doctors might have that emergency medicine doctors have that knowledge of what might be harmful to a patient if the dosing is causing some liver harm, this, that. But even there, the most doctors globally rely on what when a patient is hospitalized. I can go and get hospitalized too. I can allow my body to completely fall apart, then get taken to a hospital. But all these doctors are relying on what? They are relying on the blood tests, they're relying on ECGs, they're relying on blood pressure. But if the technology they're using also to rely on detecting whether the patient is at a critical health or non-critical health, if the doctor's knowledge is not right, or he doesn't know how to monitor actually all the parameters, then also the patient will fall ill. Which is why it happened that even though liver enzyme levels were high, he still gave me a medicine which can potentially cause liver damage too as a side effect. He also didn't remember it. I also didn't remember it. That's why I took one pill, and then I remembered, okay, that's why I shouldn't have taken this pill. As soon as I got the pain, I remembered, because even though I didn't completely remember it, I vaguely remembered it that this class of drugs can impact the liver. So I went and researched, then this medicine caused the liver problems, and it does. So I stopped taking that medicine. I couldn't take the medicine for cholesterol, cardiac health, if it is going to impact my liver health, which will again worsen my cardiac health. And the reason why partly my cholesterol was high was because of the liver, not because in my food I was eating a lot of fatty food. At that time I was not eating a lot of fatty foods. That was one thing that was damaging my cholesterol and heart problems. But what was the other thing? Pesticides were damaging my were causing heart problems. Thyroid related functional problems were impacting also cardiac health, because every organ is interconnected with another organ, and there is a biochemical process going on. When this organ is impacted, some biochemical process happens which impacts my cardiac health. When liver is also damaged, it is impacting some biochemical processes which prevents the right breakdown of cholesterol in my body. As a result, my cholesterol is high. When pesticides are binding to my liver or heart or other organs, they're not able to function and do their normal functions. That's why I was having immediate repercussions from pesticide inhalation, which actually is showing up in both my ECG, that my heart's rhythm function is abnormal. It was also showing up in a pulse oximeter which shows heart rate. It was showing my heart was skipping beats, and that there was a gap in the heart's normal rhythm was even showing up in my pulse oximeter readings. But only if a doctor, and I tracked my pulse oximeter readings for a while, for a few weeks. That's why I saw that even pulse oximeter is showing that rhythm problem. My pulse oximeter was also showing perfusion index problem, meaning the perfusion of blood to all my organs is low, which is why I was feeling so breathless. I was not feeling breathless because my lung was functioning well, but I was feeling breathless not because my lung was not malfunctioning, but I was feeling breathless because the blood in my body has got poisoned from pesticides, because of which my blood is thickening, which was also showing up in my blood report, that the blood sedimentation rate is wrong. And because my blood has thickened now, because of that reason, my blood also, when they were drawing the blood, I observed that my blood is darker than my blood used to be when I was in US. Darker and thicker. They had trouble drawing the blood from my body because of it, because the blood is thickened. So many things were showing up in my test results that showed my health was deteriorating from pesticides, not just test results, in the readings also of a machine. But if the person interpreting the readings and doesn't even know all the values meaning, they will misinterpret. If perfusion is, that's why coronavirus, many patients who are looking healthy like me, why are they dying? If I am healthy looking, but my perfusion of, and I am inhaling good oxygen, that's why my skin looks relatively okay. But even though I'm inhaling right oxygen, my lung is functioning well, which is what the SpO2 is showing, that my lung is functioning well. But my heart is not functioning well, which is what the heart rhythm is showing. But if you misinterpret the heart rhythm results and just think that it is a common malfunction of many women, and which might be true, many women might be having the same malfunctioning of their heart rhythm, but that means they are more in danger for certain other diseases. You have to be wary of that also, even if it is a common thing in different people, in a certain population group. So he ignored that. Then the doctor and then the technicians don't even know what what the perfusion index means. I understood what the perfusion index means, because every time, how did I correlate? I didn't get any technical training on reading pulse oximeter. But when every time a pesticide was impacting my breathing and heart rate was increasing, or I was feeling distressed that heart or something was malfunctioning and I might go into cardiac arrest. Why was I feeling like that? Every time my heart is skipping a beat and stopping to pump, that is where that rhythm problem was happening. Every time my heart stops pumping, it is distressful for my body, because now even though I have inhaled the right oxygen, my blood, and say at that time if my blood was right, but my blood was not functioning right, but say I had clean blood, and my only problem is heart is failing to um, pump. When heart stops pumping, that blood is not going to my other organs, so eventual organ damage, organ failure will result for me. That's why I was in distress. But for me, there were triple troubles. One was heart was not pumping well, occasionally it is skipping a beat. Second is my blood is thickened with pesticide. That's why it's also not able to perfuse everywhere, and my perfusion index kept dropping and dropping. Literally, I had to leave Mumbai for a while to get away from the pesticides being sprayed here. And even on the train journey, though, there was pesticide exposure, because our trains are also nowadays sprayed with pesticides. There are, when I was going to southern Mumbai area, all the tunnels that come from here to southern trains that are going from here to the south, all those trains are passing through tunnels. Now those tunnel areas have maximum pesticide accumulation inside those tunnels. So people have to stop using pesticides if people don't want to people to suddenly die of cardiac arrest or other organ damage and organ failure. Because pesticides are everywhere now on earth, and the only way they can stop causing harm is when slowly we stop using them on earth. Anyways, so, and these pesticides cause air pollution, water pollution, your travel area pollution, body pollution, organ system pollution, and as a result many people are dying, which are the secondary reasons, tertiary reasons why many COVID patients had organ damage, organ failure going on in their bodies. And for them, even if they got treated in the hospital, and they went to a big hospital, while they are on the journey home on a train or a vehicle sprayed with pesticides, and that was the secondary cause of their illness, are they going to stay healthy or are they going to fall sick? Right? So all these things are part of the ascension process. That's why COVID symptoms are also part of the ascension process. Healthcare problems are also part of the ascension process. You have to understand why you're experiencing a particular symptom after you have experienced it long term and continuously or repeatedly. If that symptom is happening, there is something in your life, something in your lifestyle, something in your society or culture or community that needs to stop, or that has to slowly get reduced in use. Because I will also go into organ failure if suddenly I go from Indian home environment where I have a high degree of pesticide exposure to a place where there is zero pesticide use. Why? Because my body now that has conditioned into pesticide exposure for a long time is now functioning in a hyperdrive. Like my heart is trying to beat much more at that time, not right now, but at that time when my heart rate was high, my heart was pumping, trying to pump more faster because the blood was thick. It was in a faster phase, like let's try to pump it to other organs, otherwise organ damages are happening. Right? Now, this heart which is pumping really fast, if I suddenly take it in a place where it is conditioned to beat rapidly, in that place if there is no pollution, that rapid heart rate will cause a heart attack. So because the body didn't gradually taper down the pesticide, so that's why from a really high pesticide usage place, I have to first go to a moderate level pesticide usage place. From a moderate level, then I have to go to a less usage place. Same way, if I am talking about pesticide problem in my home and I'm living alone, I have stopped using pesticide. But the next level of pesticide usage has to be in my family. Everyone has to do that, whoever is living with me. If I don't have any family who is not understanding that pesticide can't be used, or other chemicals that are causing organ damage too, because not just pesticides, there were other organ exposure, chemical exposures that were causing organ damage, adding to the organ damage. So if all these chemicals can't be stopped by any of my family, can I live with them? No. So I have to be with people who also understand that what chemicals they have to stop using if I have to have good health. And it's not that it's not going to benefit them. They are also part of the ascension process. I'm just the sickest with 10 symptoms. They are also having some impact of the pesticide in their health. They might be having anxiety, someone might be having anger, someone might be having skin irritation. That problem will automatically go away if they stop using the same chemicals that are causing these health problems for them and me. So the family has to do it. And if I'm living in a society, then the society has to do it. If I'm living in a, then slowly after society has done it, it has to expand to the sphere of influence of the whole city, then the sphere or a whole village, then the sphere of influence of a whole, or if you are not in a city, it's a very large city, maybe you have to do it in your community of, say, the church where you go, or community of a temple where you go, because temples and churches are also using chemicals that are harmful for health. Temples and churches also use pesticides. Temples and churches also use many earth harming, body harming chemicals, and there are alternate solutions to these. You have to start using those alternate solutions. But slowly you have to taper uses down. Otherwise, people, if you do it quickly also, you will have ascension symptoms. If you do it, and ascension, in some ascension symptoms videos, you will see that there are some top people who are also talking about if you are ascending too quickly, or while we are ascending, sometimes we fall down, we descend also. So with related to healthcare also, or related to anything related to ascension, be it spirituality, be it financial health, be it emotional health, be it physical health, you have to slowly taper up and slowly clear it. Slowly clear it. And while clearing it, sometimes we'll make mistakes and we will go too high. Then we have to come down. Because if you go too high also, then if you are going into spiritual warfare level, and you are also struggling with physical health issue, you won't be able to do that. That's why slow, gradual ascension is happening for everyone. But if you have mastered one level really well, you have to also start learning how to master the next level of ascension. If you have a good family life, you have to understand how to have a healthy family life. If you have a healthy family life, you have to understand whoever is unhealthy, how to help them when they are unhealthy. Because healthy people and unhealthy people don't eat the same food. If you're giving an unhealthy person the same food as a healthy person, that is a problem. If you are giving a unhealthy person some food, they are refusing to eat it. There is usually a intuitive reason for that person to not eat something that is considered healthy. Like if I went to my cousins, they cooked some food for me, or they bought some fruits for me, or in my own home, my dad sometimes goes and buys some fruits and vegetables for me. Sometimes I can't eat those fruits and vegetables because they are rotten, or even if I purchase it online or I went and bought some and they immediately got rotten in the fridge with fungus, or some other smell is coming and the food is tasting nasty. Most of the time I can smell the fungus or mold or bacteria or chemical in the food. But say at the time I am having a flu-like symptom and I can't smell it, then the taste is also there. Taste bud also shows us what is wrong. If the taste bud won't show you also, then your stomach is going to show. If your stomach is started to fail also, then your brains will show it via anger, anxiety, depression, all these things, that what food you're eating is not the right food or the right quality or is poisoned food. So all these are also ascension things. You have to slowly change. That's why. And if some guest comes to you and tells you that this is wrong in your life, if you get offended, you are causing your own harm right now, because and of course there might be some guests who might just maliciously tell you the wrong information, that this is wrong. That discernment also you have to gauge. So there's nothing wrong in thinking a little bit whether this person is telling the right thing to me or not. Or sometimes, like when there was a time when I was having skin irritation problem, I was using a particular brand hand wash which was working for me, but my cousins were saying no, that doesn't work. At that time I didn't understand why, or they were shouting at me, what are you talking about, it doesn't work. But when I went to their city, I understood that the quality of that same product in their city is polluted. As a result, whatever product was working for me in my city may not work for them in their city. So whenever you face opposition to your ascension work, also understand that there is a reason why you might be facing an opposition to your ascension work or healthcare work or whatever work you're doing. Every work, every life circumstance, when we face a conflict, face a opposition, there is a lesson in that conflict and opposition. Many people who are conditioned to not understanding this don't, that's why, understand the deeper purposes of any experience they are having. If you want to understand or have a deeper purposeful life, if you want to have a healthier quality based life, you can't just simply look at health that it is about food and medicine, that's it. No, it's many more things than simply food and medicine. We can't have that two-dimensional perspective of health anymore. So whatever you are ascending to, whatever you feel you have a question regarding ascension symptom, or about your emotional journey with the family, or about your social journey, if there are some questions arising within you, please drop a comment. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.